Let us study now in detail about the various components of food. Let us start with the first component, that is carbohydrate. Now carbohydrates are common energy giving foods, energy giving compound. It is made up of the elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Carbohydrates form our staple diet, and main part of our food is composed of carbohydrates. The common carbohydrates are sugar, starch, cellulose. Now our human body can digest sugar and starch and then convert it into simpler forms like glucose, and then which can be digested by after digestion it can be absorbed by the blood to give energy. But our human body is not capable of digesting cellulose. Grass eating animals, you have seen like cows, horses, goats, buffaloes, you must have seen them eating the grass. They can digest the grass, which contains cellulose. They have a special stomach inside their body that is called rumen, which can digest the cellulose. Human body cannot digest cellulose. If it is taken in, it will be passed out of the body undigested. It will not get digested. There are two types of carbohydrates: simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates are glucose. Now glucose can directly be absorbed by the blood, and then there it can be used to give energy to the body. Sometimes when you fall ill, or sometimes you must have experienced or seen or read somewhere that when a person falls ill or becomes weak due to some disease or due to some fever or due to dehydration. Dehydration is loss of water, which occurs due to excessive vomiting and followed by loose motions. Dehydration occurs and weakness follows. Body becomes very weak, and the person or the child is not able to eat food. So to give energy, to provide energy, glucose directly can be given, glucose drip in the hospitals. So because glucose can directly be absorbed by the blood to give energy. The second type of carbohydrate is complex carbohydrates. Now complex carbohydrates are starch, present in all the foods like wheat, potato, rice, sucrose, which is present in the sugar, and lactose, which is present in the milk. Now these complex carbohydrates cannot directly be absorbed by the blood. They have first to be digested and converted into something simpler substance like glucose, and then it can be absorbed by the blood to give energy. Right. Now let us see what are the various food in which carbohydrates are present. The carbohydrates are present in potato, sweet potato, bread, rice, wheat, honey, sugar, jaggery. What is jaggery? Gur. And milk. You must be fond of eating pizza, burger, jams, jellies, noodles, right? These are the processed foods. These are made of very fine wheat flour, maida, you must have heard about. Your mouth must be getting watered by listening to the names of such tasty foods, isn't it? Now these different types of food items also are rich in carbohydrates. Now how much carbohydrates every day an average adult requires? An average adult requires about 500 to 600 grams of carbohydrates every day, and 1 gram of carbohydrates gives 17 kilojoules of energy. Now kilo you must have heard about, and what is joules? It is a unit to measure the energy. About joules you will study in detail later. Axis of carbohydrates, if you go on eating carbohydrates more than the requirement, then what will happen? The body will become obese, a person becomes fat. What happens actually? These excess of carbohydrates, if they are taken, then what will happen? They will convert into fat and will get stored in the body, and the person will become obese, the person will become fat. So only that much amount of food should be taken which is required by the body, and of course exercises should be done along with it. We will discuss now second component of the food, which is very important component, that is fats. Now fats are also energy giving foods, they provide a lot of energy. Fats provide about double the energy as provided by carbohydrates. Fats are also called energy banks, and they give the energy whenever required. Fats can be stored inside the body and they give out the energy whenever it is required. Fats are also required for the absorption of some vitamins. Now fats are also organic compounds made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. There are two types of fats, saturated fats and unsaturated fats. You must have seen at home butter, you must be fond of eating butter, ghee, these are solids at room temperature. So butter and ghee are saturated fats, and the vegetable oils, groundnut oil, coconut oil, olive oil, mustard oil, all these cooking oils which are liquids at room temperatures, these are unsaturated fats. Now let us see in which food fats are present. The fats are present in all milk products like cheese, like butter, these all contain ghee. Ghee also can be obtained from milk, and these all contain fats. All types of vegetable oils, as I just now told you about various kinds of vegetable oils used at home like mustard oil, refined oil, olive oil, coconut oil, all these are rich in fats. Also animal fat from meat, these all contain fat. As I have already told you, fats provide more energy as compared to carbohydrates, almost double energy, and fats get stored inside the body, and whenever energy is needed by the body, these fats give the energy to the body. Now let us see how much is the requirement of fats by an average adult every day. An average adult requires about 75 grams fat per day. Of course very less amount is required. You can see carbohydrates were required in the quantity of 500 to 600 grams every day, and here you can see how much energy it provides. 1 gram fat provides about 37 kilojoules of energy, almost double, more than double. In that case it was only 17 kilojoules. And if fats are taken in excess, if you eat a lot of fried food which is cooked in a lot of oil, and food containing a lot of butter and ghee, then what will happen? Excess of fat will get deposited in the lining of the blood vessels, and heart will have to exert a lot of pressure to pump the blood through the blood vessels. So there is a risk of heart disease. Excess of fat should be avoided. The third very important nutrient in the food is protein. So let us study what are proteins. Proteins are body building food. that is they help in building up the body, proteins help in the growth of the body. That is why it is needed by the growing children more, because they need a lot of proteins to grow. Also it proteins are used in repair of body cells and tissues. If there is any wear and tear in the body cells, proteins repair that. Then proteins help the body to fight against the infection. They make the body immune to infections. They increase the resistance of the body against the infections. So proteins also regulate the various body functions. Now where are they found? Muscles, nails, hair, etc. are made of proteins. Now proteins are made up of small molecules which are called amino acids, and proteins are organic compounds which are made from the elements carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, and some of the amino acids contain sulfur and phosphorus also. What are the various sources of proteins? Proteins are mainly present in pulses, in soybean, peas, and in animals. Animal proteins are meat, eggs, cheese, milk and fish. Also I would like to tell you that proteins from animal sources, they are called first class proteins as they contain all the proteins, whereas the proteins which are obtained from the plants are called second class proteins. They do not contain all the proteins. So but it is not necessary that if you are a vegetarian you switch on to non-vegetarian. It is not at all compulsory, but you are growing age and you need to take a lot of proteins. Now we will discuss about mineral salts. Mineral salts are very important for our body, but they are required in very small amount, and we need not to take minerals from outside. Minerals are present in the food we take. They are already present in the food. Various types of food, various types of minerals are present. About only 4% weight of human body is made up of minerals, and roughly about 16 mineral elements are essential for us. Now there are two types of minerals, macro minerals and micro minerals. Now some minerals are required by the body in a little bit larger amount, and they are called macro minerals, and these are calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium. And some other minerals which are required in smaller amounts are called micro minerals, like iron, copper, zinc and iodine. Now let us see from what type of food we can get these minerals. Sources of minerals are like milk, cheese, green leafy vegetables like spinach, pulses, meat and eggs. Now let us just briefly study about some very important minerals and what are their functions. Like calcium, you might be aware of calcium. It helps in the formation of bones, it makes the bones strong, and if calcium deficiency occurs in the body, it causes a disease called osteoporosis. In this disease, what happens? The bones become weak and the bones can then break easily. So calcium deficiency should not be there in the body. Another very important mineral is phosphorus, which makes the teeth strong and hard. Then another mineral is silicon, and it helps in proper functioning of nerve cells and tissues. It is essential for the growth of hair, nails and teeth. Then another very important mineral is iron. Iron helps in the formation of hemoglobin, which is present in the blood. Now, hemoglobin is a very important component of the blood. It carries oxygen to different parts of the body, from the lungs, where oxygen is used for breaking the food to release energy, and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide again then is carried by hemoglobin back to lungs, from where it is thrown out of the body. So, hemoglobin is a very important component, and it is formed with the help of the mineral iron. If deficiency of iron occurs, it causes a disease which is called anemia. Now, where is iron present? It is present in the green leafy vegetables, eggs, groundnuts and liver. Another important mineral is iodine. It controls the functioning of thyroid gland, and its deficiency leads to a disease called goiter. And you must have heard about iodized salt. Generally in the houses we use iodized salt, from which iodine can be provided to the body, and also it is present in fish and seafood. So, iodine is equally important for the food, for the body. Now, let us now discuss about very important component of the food, very important nutrient of the food is vitamins. You must have heard about vitamins, and vitamins neither give energy and nor they help in building the body, but still they are very important for the body to function properly. They are required in small amounts only. Now, let us see how there are two types of vitamins depending upon the solubility. If the vitamin is soluble in a fat, it is fat soluble vitamin. The examples are vitamins A, D, E, K, and if the vitamin is soluble in water, so they are called water soluble vitamins. For example, vitamin B complex and vitamin C. You must have heard about vitamin B complex. Actually, it is not one vitamin, it has vitamins like vitamin B1, B2, B3, then vitamin B5, B6, B7 and vitamin B9 and B13, B12. Vitamin B9 and vitamin B12. How many total? 8 vitamins in vitamin B complex. So, total how many? 13 vitamins are there. 4 plus 8, 12 plus 1, 13 vitamins. Now, let us see what are the various sources of vitamins. These are green leafy vegetables and all sorts of fruits which contain various vitamins, then milk, egg and cheese. So, you need to eat a lot of leafy vegetables so that you get enough vitamins, and fruits also. Okay? Tell your mother to give you milk, egg and cheese so that you get sufficient amount of vitamins which are very essential for you all. Another very important component of the food is water. Water is very much essential for various activities. In fact, about 70% of our body weight is water. So, how essential it is for the body, and it is used for various purposes. It is a means of transporting substances in the body. It maintains the body temperature. Now, it is a common experience that during summers we sweat a lot, and sweating helps to maintain the body cool. Now, during summer when you sweat a lot and you sit under a fan or go outside where the wind is blowing, what happens? The sweat evaporates and takes up the heat from the body, due to which the body feels cool. So, it keeps the body cool. Now, as you know, water is lost from the body continuously in the form of sweat, in the form of water vapors. During breathing some water vapors are also given out, and also as urine. Now water is continuously losing from the body. How is this water replenished? This loss of water is replenished by the food which you eat, and also by the water and the liquids you take. Also water helps in absorption of food and also excretion of waste products from the body. You need to drink a lot of water, and how much water a human body requires every day? Our body needs about 2 to 3 liters of water every day, or approximately you can say 8 to 9 glasses of water. And sometimes what happens? Children and even the adults suffer from continuous vomiting and loose motions, due to which what happens? Water is continuously lost from the body, and due to which what happens? Dehydration occurs. Now dehydration is a very serious disease, and due to dehydration what happens? Headache occurs, energy becomes less, the person becomes lethargic, and in acute cases it can cause death also. So it is to be taken very seriously when dehydration occurs, or when continuous vomiting followed by loose motion occurs. The body becomes very weak. Now to recover from dehydration, of course hospitalization sometimes has to be done, and at home some precaution can be taken, some medicine can be made. You must have heard about ORS. What is ORS? ORS is oral rehydration solution. It can be prepared at home also by dissolving 8 teaspoons sugar and 1 teaspoon salt in 1 liter of clean water, drinking water, and by mixing all this, this ORS can be taken. Of course you all know that ORS powders are also available in the market. They also can be used, but it can also be made at home, and it is a very good medicine to recover from dehydration. So water is very essential component of the food, and you must need to drink a lot of water during the day. Now seventh very important component of the food is roughage. Roughage means fiber. Fibrous foods have this roughage. Though roughage does not have any nutritive value, it does not give energy, it does not build the body, but it is very important because it helps to cure constipation, and it should be included in the diet. That is, whole grain food should be taken in the food. Also it helps in the proper functioning of the digestive system. Fiber, that is roughage, is present in the leafy vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains, pulses, whole pulses, lettuce, broccoli. So all these type of foods which contain roughage should be taken, and wheat flour should not be sieved much. It should not be very fine. It should have the bigger particles in it, which is called choker also, and which is very useful to cure constipation, and it is very much required. There are two types of roughage: soluble roughage, that is soluble in water, and the soluble roughage is apple, strawberry, peach, rice. It is present in this fruits and rice, and it helps in blood circulation. Another type of roughage is insoluble roughage, which is present in whole grains, cabbage, turnip and cauliflower. So these are two types of roughage. Now our food should contain energy giving food, body building food and protective foods. Now this figure shows 3 food groups. Let us first go to the energy giving group, which contains, you can see the picture, try to identify what type of food is included in this energy giving foods. It includes both carbohydrates and fats, you can see, wheat, sugar, jaggery, potato, sweet potato, and even rice, maize, oil, butter, all these are included in this energy giving food. Then for repairing of body cells, tissues, and for the growth of the body is required body building food. Now body building food, you can identify the picture, see what are the various type of food which contain these proteins, body which are included in this group, body building group: milk, fish, egg, meat, nuts, pulses, cheese, etc. Then the protective foods, which contain vitamins and minerals and water also. Now this protective food, they are all present in the fruits and the vegetables. So identify this. This is papaya, amla, orange, lemon, spinach, brinjal, tomato, carrot, and so on. So fruits and vegetables, they come under the group of protective food, which contain vitamins and minerals. So all these 3 types of food groups should be included in your diet. So be very careful about that. Now you know about 7 important components of the food, and you know that your food should contain all these nutrients or components, but you should also know that your food not only should contain all these nutrients in your food, but also a balanced quantity of all these nutrients in the food should be included. So that is called balanced diet. A balanced diet contains balanced quantities of different kind of nutrients in the food. Approximately a rough estimate, it is given here. Balanced diet contains about 50% of carbohydrates, 35% of fats, 12% of proteins, 3% of minerals and vitamins, and sufficient amount of water and roughage. So it is very much essential to include a balanced quantity of all the different kinds of nutrients in your food, because if the deficiency occurs, it will cause a disease, it will lead to a poor health, and that is why balanced diet is very much required. Now balanced diet depends upon certain factors. Let us see what are those factors on which the balanced diet depends. It is first of all age. A growing child like you needs more energy, needs more proteins, because yours is a growing age, and for growing, proteins are needed more as compared to the adults. Then balanced diet depends upon the sex. Males need more energy than the females of the same age. And the third factor on which the balanced diet depends is the type of work a person is doing. A laborer who is doing the physical work throughout the day, he needs more of energy giving foods as compared to another person who is sitting in the office on a chair and working on a computer. He is not doing the physical work, so he needs less quantity of energy giving food. Now see this, athlete and school teacher. In your opinion, who requires more of energy giving food? The answer will be athlete. Athlete requires more of energy giving food because athlete has to do a lot of physical work. Now at the age of 10 to 12 years, what should be the balanced diet? Your age also must be approximately 10 or 12 years in between this. So, what all should be included in the balanced diet at your age? Let us see. The diet contains 2 cups cooked cereals, half cup cooked pulses, 2 cups of milk, a small quantity of cooked green leafy vegetables and a seasonal fruit. So, these are all the things which should be included in the balanced diet of a 10 to 12-year-old child. Now, let us see how to overcome the deficiency in the nutrients. It is always not necessary to eat very expensive food, costly food. You can always take simple food, inexpensive food, which has equal amount of, or rather more amount of nutrients than an expensive food. One can eat groundnut, soybean, sattu, banana, spinach. These have more nutrients as compared to very expensive grapes and apples. Another factor by which deficiency in nutrients can be overcome is cooking the food in a proper manner. Because sometimes if cooking is not done in the right manner, the nutrients get destroyed. If the food is fried or cooked for a long time, then many nutrients get destroyed. Vitamin C get destroyed when the food is cooked and it is heated. So, vitamin C gets destroyed. So, that is why the fruits which contain vitamin C should be taken in the raw form and should not be cooked. There are so many other things, proper cooking, like rice is cooked in excess amount of water, and excess water is after cooking thrown away. Now, this water which is thrown away contains a lot of nutrients. So, it is better to cook rice in that much amount of water which need not to be thrown. Then skin of certain fruits and vegetables contains a lot of important vitamins and minerals. Then cut fruits and vegetables should not be kept for a long time, because it leads to loss of vitamins and minerals. Then you should not wash the cut fruits and vegetables for a long time, because cut fruits and vegetables, if they are washed, it leads to loss of vitamins and minerals. Instead, just after peeling, the fruit and vegetable should be washed, and after cutting it should not be washed. And repeated washing of rice and pulses also leads to loss of certain important vitamins and minerals. So, proper cooking is equally important, so that nutrients remain in the food and help you in giving proper energy and all the other things. Then another method by which the nutritive value of the food can be increased is by sprouting and fermentation. So, sprouting of whole pulses can be done. You must have eaten sometimes at home the sprouted pulses, and that is another method to increase the nutritive value. Now, this picture shows you how the food can be divided into 4 groups. The first group is the milk group, which contains the milk and the milk products like cheese, milk, ice cream, butter, etc. The second group is the pulses and the meat group, which contain mostly the proteins. So, you can see this is fish, and these are the pulses, soya bean, etc. Then the third group is the fruit and the vegetable group, which contain mostly the vitamins and the minerals, which you can see this side some vegetables are there, and this side some fruits are there. And the fourth is the bread and the cereal group, which mainly contains the carbohydrates. So, you can see this bread, etc., rice, bread. So, these mainly are the 4 groups in which the food can be divided: milk group, pulses and meat group, fruit and vegetable group, bread and cereal group.